This is the first practice quiz for quiz 4 in Algebra 2 for the second trimester. So the first page is all about the second page on your notes where I said that I'll test you on these basic inverse operations that you need to be aware of. So basically you're raising, like on the first one here, each side to the 1/3 power, because you want to make that exponent 1. And of course, that's going to give you 2. So here, this is something we've done before. You take sine inverse of both sides. So you're going to get sine inverse of 1/2, and that is 30 degrees. Make sure you're in degree mode when you do it. Here, this is x to the 1/2, so you're going to square this. So x to the 1/2 squared is x. So 400. And then here, you're going to take x to the 2/3, raise it to the 3/2. So that means 4 gets raised to the 3/2. And that is 8. So it's raising each side to the reciprocal power and then a sine inverse. So that's what I meant on that second page of notes, how that's going to tie into this. It's really pretty simple once you get it. Okay, and then you're going to have a couple of pages of formulas to do, and then your tier 3 questions, and then your 2 spiral questions. All right. So solve v equals pi r squared h for r. Okay, so notice that r is squared. So we want to get the r alone on step 1. Or the r squared alone, excuse me, on step 1. But now that's not done. We need to raise each side to the 1/2 power to complete this. So each side gets raised to the 1/2 power. Now, so that's part A. So part B, you take these in to solve for r. And I am going to tell you this, get ready to use your fraction template tool, entry tool to do this. So the 12 goes where h is and the 108 pi goes where v is. So you can think the pi's drop out. So what's the sense of entering that? So 108 over 12 to the 1/2 power. So what you're going to want to do, get that ready. And then just raise it to the 1/2 power. So if you wanted to enter in so I just hit the up arrow there. You could have done that from the beginning. Probably should show it that way. 108 over 12, oops, to the 0.5. So you're going to have to get good with using your fraction entry tool. All right, 6 part A, solve for t. So we want to isolate the term that contains t as step 1. And then we're going to divide by p times r as step 2 to get the t alone. Okay, so t is a minus p over p times r. Then we're going to use that on part B. It amazes me how people just can't do this. They do the harder part on part A well, and then they just don't understand substitution. I couldn't believe how many people miss this. So substitute in the A and the P, standing for actual amount, principal amount, over the principal, 2,500, times the R. That simple. Just do the formula out, and you get 10. Excuse me, 10 years, actually. So that's a kind of a simple interest problem there. And you're finding the value of time. All right, next page. Solve for x. So we want to isolate the term that contains x on one side. That means subtracting the 5y to the other side. And then we're going to divide by 4. And so however you want to do this, I just am in the mood for keeping one fraction bar like that, find the value of x if y equals 8. So you substitute in y equals 8. And that is 5. Negative 40 plus 20, negative 20 over 4, negative 5. Solve. V equals 4/3 pi r cubed for r. So notice we got an r cubed to deal with. But the first step is to eliminate denominators. You need to follow what it is I'm trying to show you on this list. You have to go through this each time. So we eliminated the denominator. Now we want to get the r to the third alone. So 3v over 4 pi equals r to the third. Now we need to raise each side to the 1/3 power to get the r solved for. So r is 3v over 4 pi to the 1/3. Now we're using this in for v. So there it is. It's a little bit of work. Now here's something to know. There's a lot that cancels out. The 3's drop out. So this whole thing got put in for v right there. The 3's drop out and the pi's drop out. So you're just doing 256 over 4 to the 1/3. And why not just enter that? Over 4. There it is. Now to the 1/3. So you can just do 1 divided by 3 like that. Or you could enter it all, you know, like I showed you before with parentheses. 256 over 4 to the 1/3. You can do that too. All right, so that is 4. All right, 9 and 10, tier 3 here. Notice 4b over a. So if we make this b over a, that's 1/2. Flip both sides. And that has to do with this guy right here, like this piece of the notes. Now 4b over a. So you're going to multiply both sides by 4 because you want to create the 4b over a. And 2 is what it equals on the right. So flip it, then figure out what you need to multiply by to get it to happen. Problem 10. This is a bit of work, but this is really designed to test 51p to see if you're paying attention on the list of steps. So multiply the negative p through. Now, what you want to do here that's kind of not included in the list of steps, but we need to get the x term expressions on one side of the equal sign. So I'm going to do that while adding, getting everything else the other way. So this is going to come this way, and the negative 51p is going to go that way. And so to get the x by itself, this is kind of like the first step where you're going to undo. It's like factoring it out because it's replicated. The variable's replicated. We can't have that when we're trying to solve for it. So we're going to factor the x out. It's kind of like going backwards. And then you're left with the negative p minus d. And then that's what you're going to divide by to get the x alone. So what does this amount to? Multiply through. So I would accept that, or I would accept like the opposite in the numerator and then the total opposite in the denominator, either way. Multiply through to eliminate parentheses. Collect your x terms on one side, get all the other terms the other way. Factor out the x, because that's what you're trying to solve for. and then divide by the expression that's multiplied by x. After you factored it out, divide on both sides, and then you will have the answer. Okay, put this in standard form. You know what I would do? I would use your table to find the vertex instead of completing the square. Find the vertex. Let's do that. And then you'll know what to do. You just need to make sure that you do it right. So we have 2x squared plus 8x plus 7. So looking at the table, I want to see where above and below, so it's -2, -1. You see that pattern? That's the vertex. That's the H and the K. So now we can write this. A is 2. A is the same in both ones. So we've got 2 times x minus -2 squared plus -1. So this is why it appears opposite, because you're subtracting it. So you just got to take the opposite of the H when you put that together. Okay, there's completing the square too. I suppose maybe on the next video I'll show the completing the square way. And then put the following vertex form, quadratic, and standard form. So here you have to multiply this out. So you need to do this. So x squared minus 4x plus 4. I just did the whole of FOIL product real quick there, outer plus the inner. And then the last. So I added the -2 and the -2. And so 3x squared minus 12x plus 12 plus 3. So you got to distribute and then add the 3. And that concludes the first practice quiz for the 4th quiz in Algebra 2 in the 2nd trimester.